beautiful, we want them with us. Stop them raining. Beautiful, stop raining. Stop them raining. They are so beautiful, we want them with us. Stop them raining.
Hey everybody. So one of my commenters asked me a pretty reasonable question today. The question that they asked me was, what is my prison story? I've mentioned it a few times throughout my channel, my series, and I feel like you guys have the right to know because I am, in a sense, a public figure, and I feel like it would only be fair for you guys to know such a significant part of my life. So when I was 18 or 19, I had just gotten out of my first very serious relationship that actually resulted in a child. Like, I have a child. So this was a really hard time for me. I ended up falling in with the wrong crowd in a really bad town, in a really bad part of that bad town. So while I was hanging out with this bad crowd in this bad town, I happened to be at a house party. I mean, it was like one of the old school house parties like you see in the movies, you know, a bunch of people partying in a house, just kind of going wild, that kind of thing. And I was a little bit broke. Well, I was a lot broke, and I really needed the money. I needed to get on my feet, but I honestly didn't know where to go. And I know you're like, oh, why didn't you get a job? Well, I was an alcoholic at the point in time, and I really wasn't thinking clearly. What ended up happening was I met this guy at this party, and he said, hey, do you want to make some money? Yeah, I want to make some money. Well, I got this job, but it's not really on the legal side. Well, you know, I do need the money. How much we talking? Big money. We're talking in the G's, boy. Oh, grands for me alone? Yeah. I mean, like, you could come out with like 3 grand. So I said, what do I gotta do? Like an idiot. Well, we just gotta go over to this car lot. This crackhead owns this car lot, and he's owed somebody some money, and so we gotta take one of his vehicles, and we gotta bring it to this chop shop. And I was like, well, I mean, sounds kind of sketchy, but 3 grand all at once kind of sounded nice for my certain situation. I was homeless, a drunk, no good, depressed. So then, I was like, where did we bring this car? And he told me, we bring it to Chicago. He knew some people in Chicago who this guy owed money to, drug-involved money. And I never really messed around with people like that. You know, I mean, I was always a good kid up until I got kicked out of my house as a teenager. I had a lot of unresolved issues, by the way, in my home life. I didn't have an easy childhood, and I feel like I was letting out all that anger in my teenage years. So that led to me deciding to help this guy steal a car. Yeah, I know, I was messing around in some dangerous activity with some dangerous people, but it wasn't me trying to be a tough guy. It was me honestly just not knowing how to handle a very depressing, anxious situation while being under the influence of drugs and alcohol. This is why, to this day, I do not even smoke weed. I know weed is becoming a really commonly useful thing, and for a lot of people I feel like it does help. But I don't even do that. This story is just to kind of let you guys know that side of me that is a past me. It's not me now, just so you know. Now I'm a father of 3 wonderful children. They are special needs children, but they need me and I need them as much as they need me. I feel like my kids saved my life. What happened was we went to this car lot, super wasted. And that should have been like a sign to me, like, don't do this, don't follow through with this, but I wasn't thinking clearly. So I ended up going to this car lot of this guy that owed these people money. We found the most expensive car there, which there wasn't very many good cars there. The car was a 2008 Mitsubishi Evolution. It was the only nice car on the car lot. All the other ones were like old box Chevys, but not the good ones that anybody that knows box Chevy car culture. It wasn't one of those. It was like old junk at this car lot. But he had this one gem that if we would have got it, we would have got, you know, $6 grand for it. and I would have got 3, he would have got 3. It would have been like that. So we get in there and we break into this car lot. We do all of the things we need to do. I'm not going to go into too much detail to that extent. I mean, nobody got hurt. It was, early morning. Nobody was there. We did find a crack lighter. I mean, he really was a crackhead. And yeah, there's such a thing as a crack lighter. It's a rigged thing. I never messed with drugs like that. That's pretty nasty, in my opinion. So we get in there, we do what we gotta do to get this car looking fake street legal long enough to drive it up to Chicago, which was only 3 hours away. Well, it was early morning. Businesses were starting to open. So we were too drunk to think about that. Somebody across the street actually seen everything we were doing. Luckily. I mean, I'm really glad they did, because I don't know what would have happened to me if I would have went to Chicago. It's a dangerous city. And I was going to a really bad part of town, from what I knew. So, after this person across the street had called the cops, she called the cops and she was like step by step by step telling them what we were doing. I seen it in the paperwork. So when we finally get everything together to go get this car set up and get on the road, we end up getting ambushed by like 6 cop cars, 5 or 6 cop cars. And I thought about running, but I was not running on much sleep, so I just decided to give up. I thought, you know what, they got me. I'm not even going to put up a fight. Obviously this is meant to happen. I was sentenced to a year in prison. I mean, for my first offense, that's not bad, really. I just want you to know, I know you probably clicked on this thinking, oh, this is going to be a really intense, like, hardcore prison story. Well, honestly, I'm a hilarious person who happened to be depressed and under the influence of drugs and alcohol. So for those of you out there who may be in that situation right now, under the influence of drugs and alcohol, depressed, anything like that, you just got to find you a support group. You got to find people who care and who want to build you up. Because that's the only thing that got me out of that situation. What happened to save my life was I ended up getting in a serious relationship with my best friend once I got out of prison. She's really awesome. And she's tougher than me. Like, she was raised by her dad, and her dad's a real hard ass. So I think that's what helped me, was being around all those people who took shit so serious. Like, no bullshit. Like, they knew how to have fun, but they knew how to work hard, play hard. So between a good relationship with a good person, having lots of children who love and depend on me for so much more than regular children do, I feel like all of that really straightened me out. On top of that, I really missed skateboarding while I was in prison. It was the hardest thing for me to go without. When I got out of prison, I actually ended up having to learn everything over again. Imagine going a whole year straight without your board after you had been hooked for so long. All I cared about was skateboarding and trying to cope with all my issues I had. Honestly, I didn't have an influence, somebody to show me or guide me in the right direction. So I just took the wrong path, thinking it was the only path. But there's always a different path for you to take. Never take that bad path, especially on a whim, letting your emotions control your thought process. So that's my prison story, and I feel kind of uncomfortable talking about this because I've gotten nothing but hate for my past. But I've always been honest with everybody who asks me about it. So this video, once again, is dedicated to one of my subscribers who asked. I hope that this story was clear enough, detailed enough, for you to know that I'm not a dangerous person. I was a person who was in a bad situation, who handled that bad situation in life wrong. Honestly, I avoid confrontation at all costs. That's just me as a person. So that's my story. I hope it was enough for you guys. I hope that you guys, learned something or understand a little bit more about me. I plan to do more videos telling you about different parts of my life that kind of were table turners, crossroads really, I guess. But after I got out of prison, I went straight back into being my best me, figuring out what I could do to get on top of changing my life. for the better. And I think that's something that we all need to remember, even in hard times, you know, when we're feeling like it's the end of our road. I feel like we need to just remember that there's always another option and that we can keep on going. So thank you guys for watching. Please come back. Please like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Follow me on Instagram. Same name on Instagram as it is on here. Comment, comment, comment. You know, apparently from what I've heard from all the other YouTubers, the algorithm loves comments and it'll get my videos out there for other people to see. If you subscribe to my channel and I like your content, I'll subscribe to your channel as well. So y'all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Peace.